Thank you. And let us get started. And I think a key starting point is always to see what are the major trends which we currently have, because they impact our challenges in industry, but also the way how we want to behave. And a key trend which we see this year in 2020 is that with the COVID pandemic, but also with other challenges which started already in 2019, is a very strong short-term challenge. This is the horizontal axis on cost and efficiency. Now, what it means is a huge pressure on competitiveness, specifically on cost, and at the same time, especially in critical industries, but also across other industries, quality matters. This is also an important short-term challenge. And we still face the situation of not enough competences. Why? Because in the past years, competences were scarce, and therefore also knowledge was scarce. And this together brought exactly the situation that at the moment, while we have to compete on cost and quality, with insufficient competences, that leads us in a vicious circle of cost pressure, lack of competences, less innovation, and we need more rework. And that is exactly the risk which we currently see across many of our clients worldwide. Now, the second risk is what we see in the middle. All the interesting topics are considered not so much a short-term challenge, but a long-term challenge. Now, this is obvious because people have to give an order or priority to the answers when we ask them, because they can only give 5 answers to these questions. And so obviously they have to make some ranking. And that means what we can also see in the slide is a current situation, there is not enough energy for innovation. And I'm not talking about the 5, 6 very big players in IT, which have enough guts to do a lot of good innovation. But we look here more on the situation of, let's say, companies of different size, which are in this struggle on cost and efficiency. And for that reason, I think it is very important to be aware of this threat of the vicious circle, because when I later on introduce to Agile, then we should always keep in mind the starting point is not that we want to do Agile to be Agile, but we want to do Agile because it helps us to stay competitive. Now, the challenge which we see in 2020 specifically, and this comes on top of the previous picture, because it has accelerated a few changes which were around anyway, is what we now call a new normal. A new normal means we are past the panic mode with respect to COVID. We are in a severe downturn depending on the industries. We had a slight recovery in early Q3, but with Q4 now we see in many parts of the world a second wave arriving, or some parts even never left the first wave. And this means it is not so obvious how long this time will be. And I'm not going to get now into a lecture on the challenges of COVID. The only thing is, from a perspective of Agile, one important message is that we should not get back into panic mode, because that led in the time frame March, April, May into what we call cowing. So people were kind of staying home, increasingly feel well at home. It's a very dangerous situation. We should never feel well if we don't work. So we have, even if we work from home office or anywhere on the road, we have to stay energetic and not in this panic slow down mode. And at the same time, we have now learned what it means to deal with COVID. And that means, this is why we call it, it's a new normal. Many of my clients these days work just normally in this new environment. So they have less people in the office. They have more people work remotely, especially for IT. And it's not a big deal. We've been doing that for 2 decades. It's not just a bigger pressure. We don't fly. We don't make big business trips. But in fact, what we realize is, and this is the benefit from COVID, productivity is increasing if we do it well, because we have less friction time. We have less overheads with traveling. I have sometimes on one day 5, 6 customer meetings, which take 1 or 2 hours. Sometimes I make reviews already in the early morning with Australia. With the time zone difference, that means for them it's already the afternoon. Sometimes I work in the afternoon or in the evening with US. And that means these are things which in the past we thought are never possible. This is agility. This means that we adjust to the constraints which we have and that we reduce waste. Travel time was always waste. And this is one of the 5 basic agile elements that we reduce waste, we reduce friction. There's a second one, we focus on value. This is agile in a nutshell. And this is exactly what this presentation will be about, but also why I think it is important to realize that the current situation, though it is certainly not the one which we would like to have in 2020 and 21, we should also get adjusted towards understanding it's a new normal. We have no idea really what next year will bring. It's, as we say, VUCA. That means volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And this is what our future will be. And that means the new normal, and this is the key message here, the new normal with COVID and after COVID is agile. It's even more agile than ever. Now, a second very important trend is that we have a severe change also in the way we address technology. I put that into 4 words, which together give the abbreviation ACEs, because each one is an ACE. It helps us to move forward. Autonomy is what we see now in many industries. For instance, in medical, we see now a lot of treatment, not only the analysis, but also the treatment being done by machine learning systems which look to the results from MRT, from CT, from other analysis in order to find out what could be a root cause of some health issues. We have that, of course, in mobility. We have autonomous vehicles, we have autonomous drones. Increasingly, we have a lot of robots. Autonomy, I think, is fairly easy to grasp. If you look to the banking and finance sector, where I've recently done a big project, we have already a majority in many banks of all the workflows handled autonomously. It's not only credit card, that is a famous one, but it's many processes are done either fully autonomous or with bots, which allow interaction with the user. Second big trend is connectivity. This is, of course, a condition because our world is connected anyway, but the connectivity is growing. We not only connect obvious, let's say, devices like we connect a PC with the Wi-Fi, but we also connect our many gadgets which we have, our maybe medical implants, if some have one, our different...
Hi there, hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Maludis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also getting complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year, but if you use the coupon code LEARN2EARN, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.